The morning the sky lowered, a cloud slid through my gate like a shy animal. Shoulder high and cool, it unrolled across the mailbox and tasted the street. I reached out, my hand vanished in cold velvet. When I pulled back, my skin glittered as if I'd palmed a ghost. By noon the city wore a second ground. Not fog, fog lies down. This moved and breathed, curling around signs, pooling in doorways, braiding under bridges. Sound fell into it and softened. Sirens wore sweaters, footsteps sounded private. I serviced the small radio tower on the western hill. Walking town now feels like moving between two floors. Asphalt below, a pale floor above that tickles your hair. People adapted because people always do. Cyclists fitted visor wipers. Buses grew little brows to comb a passage. Market stalls sold cloud rakes so you could pull a window from face to face. Children cut tunnels in the schoolyard and hid until a teacher burst through wearing a beard of vapor, outraged and laughing. It broke things too. Airport approaches vanished. Distant hills that steadied the eye were replaced by moving nothing. Streetlights needed halos to be believed. The city hired ceiling hands to wave the sky off crosswalks and asked our hill team to teach them the currents. Cloud respects shape. It pools in hollows, streams along walls, curls around heat. The trick is not to fight, but to invite, so we built a wind harp in the baker's alley, quiet fans and cords that stitched a ribbon of clear air through the wool. My father watched from the window, with a blanket on his knees and the oxygen machine purring. He pretended to be annoyed. We used to look up for weather, he said. Now weather looks back. Yet whenever I left for the hill, he asked which way the wool was running, the way fishermen speak of a river's thought. In late autumn, a windless night let the clouds sag to our chests. The hacks failed. Harps pulled, and the white closed over their stitches. Rakes made lines that sealed like wounds choosing to heal. Radio calls sounded like voices pressed into a pillow. The hospital pinged my private channel. A blood kit trapped in the low streets. A trauma unit on the ridge needing it. Roads blinking in and out like a dream. A life with the stuff. Between teaches you to make a door by being gentle with hinges. I strapped 2 battery fans to the old cargo bike, stretched a cord across the bars, fixed a pin light to see the breath of the white, and pedaled in. The fans didn't clear, they combed. A braid opened ahead and closed behind with the patience of sleep. Storefronts slid past as hints. Orange from a grocer, neon smear, a laugh that tasted of rain. The river announced itself as iron, though I could not see it. Halfway up the ridge, the cloud thinned. I looked up, and a neat square of night had been unlatched. Stars poured through as if they had been waiting just above our hair. Then, the door closed, and I rode on. At the last curve, the fans found a seam, and the hospital's red sign arrived like an ember in ash. A nurse opened the side door, eyes startled. "You came through that," she said, pointing where the world should have been. I shrugged. We swapped the kit, no forms. When the door shut, I could hear the building's heart under the cloud's slow pulse. On the way back, I stopped beneath my father's window and played one long note from the harp app. His hand lifted into the cloud until the wrist vanished. "Colder today," he said. "Smells like snow." It did. The fibers felt granular, as if the wool had soaked a river. Snow came not as a shout, but as a choice. The fleece thickened until the air found letting go, easier than holding on. By winter, the city learned a new etiquette. You murmur before stepping into someone's white. Lovers write messages in breath and watch them drift together. Musicians rehearse under harps to hear how instruments speak when the sky presses close. A cellist finds a note that turns a block to silver. Some vanish in softness, some call it a veil, some cannot bear the nearness at all. Yet, on ordinary days we move slower and more deliberate. We reach out and shape without owning. Sometimes on the hill, I switch off the tower and listen to nothing begin. The cloud slides over my boots and folds around my knees, curious as a cat. I hold my palm inside and feel a fine tremor, the slow-living muscle of air, remembering mountains and sea. The old sky was a picture we looked into. This sky is a visitor. When it passes, leaving wet fingerprints on brick and leaf and skin, the ground feels more awake, as if we have finally shaken hands with what we live inside.